first meal prep video. Now, out of all the questions that I get from people that know me personally, it's almost always about meal prep. What do you do for meal prep? Honestly, I've kind of gotten it down to a science, and meal prep for me is very effortless, and I've just gotten grown to and accustomed to meal prepping throughout the week, and it's just very easy. So there are three things that I believe are key to successful meal prepping. The first thing is having the patience to actually nail down meal prepping. So be patient. You might have to play around with, how long you cook something in the oven or your specific air fryer or something along those lines, but just give yourself that patience on learning a new recipe or something along those lines. Also, make it actually taste good. We've all been there where we have this hard-boiled egg diet, or we think that boiled chicken is the way to go. And I am telling you guys, you are just setting yourself up for failure. You want your food to actually taste good. And the third thing is make things that are very versatile. For instance, I like to cook up a big batch of ground turkey or ground beef or something along those lines, and I can make tacos with that. I can throw it on some rice. I could make it with a side of something else. If I throw a little bit of ketchup on it, it tastes like meatloaf. So things that you guys can use that are just very versatile. So first on our list is meal prep chicken. Now this is the one thing that I have cooked for so many people and they're like, oh my gosh, what did you do to this chicken? Like, this is literally the best chicken I've ever had before in my entire life. And I am here to tell you, it is nothing that crazy. I get boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So nice lean chicken. Sometimes I go ahead and get the chicken tenderloins. The chicken tenderloins are gonna come out in little strips and they're still pretty lean as well. And you don't have to actually cut them up. If you buy like a boneless, skinless chicken breast, you have to take the time to kind of cut it up into slices. So I find that it's just a little bit easier to do the tenderloins sometimes, but it just depends on what's on sale and things like that. So once I have my chicken all cut up, I actually throw it in a bag with some Worcestershire sauce. This I feel like is kind of the key to getting the juiciness. So you kind of want to soak it in something nice and salty, like Worcestershire sauce. If you don't like Worcestershire sauce, you can always do something else. I've actually used soy sauce before and that's pretty good. So I let it soak in that bag. Sometimes I'll do it the night before, sometimes I'll do it a couple hours before, and sometimes I'm just literally in a hurry and I just slap it all together kind of all at once and it all still tastes really good. So throw all your chicken in a bag and then you season it. Now, don't go too scarce on seasoning, guys. Buy yourself a good solid seasoning. These Weber seasonings and these McCormick Grill Mates, you probably can't really see that. These are some of my favorites. Chipotle roasted garlic. We have smokehouse maple, kickin' chicken, garlic parmesan, beer can chicken, mesquite. So any one of these, you're gonna wanna definitely use a lot of seasoning within your bag. So what I'm doing is I'm opening up my bag that already has the Worcestershire sauce in there. And today I think I'm gonna use this smokehouse maple seasoning. It's a McCormick seasoning. And I actually take the lid off of this and I just pour a bunch of seasoning in there. Then you wanna close your bag back up. Get a little bit of air out of it. And make sure you get it coated on all of that chicken. And honestly, guys, season the crap out of your food. That's what's gonna honestly make it taste so much better. And usually I cook quite a bit of chicken, so if it looks like I'm using a lot, I actually have a lot of chicken that I'm cooking. So next I put it on my air fryer tray. Now I have an air fryer that actually has a rotisserie basket attachment, and it has trays within it. So I highly recommend if you do get an air fryer, get that one. It is a little bit more expensive than the little basket, but the basket, you're constantly having to open it up and flip things around. And honestly, that rotisserie basket is well worth it. Like, you can slice up potatoes, throw it in, rotates it, and you can make fries, things like that. So highly recommend if you get an air fryer, you get that one. I think it's called Power Air Fryer. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm putting this chicken now on my air fryer tray and I'm just kind of laying it out. I cook like a ton of chicken at once because I eat a pretty high protein diet. So I'll actually use 2 trays at a time and stuff them on both of the trays. But whatever you want to do, the more chicken you make now, the more you're going to have, the longer you're going to have it, and the less you're going to have to actually cook your chicken. So just keep that in mind, especially if you have a whole family, something along those lines. All right, so I did end up putting this chicken on 2 separate trays, and this is my Power Air Fryer. I'm not gonna show you the inside because the drip tray, we've seriously had this for so long, and the drip tray is kind of embarrassing. So turn this on. I cook it at 340, oops, and 16 minutes. And if I turn the light on, you can kind of see there's 2 trays in there. So I cook it for 16 minutes. And since I have 2 trays, what I'm actually gonna do is halfway through, swap the 2 trays, because the higher up in this specific air fryer, kind of the toastier it gets. So it makes sure it kind of like toasts and evenly cooks both trays. So I usually do that around the halfway mark. All right, guys, so while that chicken is cooking, I'm actually gonna roast up some broccoli. This bag is massive. And I get this bag from Costco. I actually shop for most of my meats and some of my veggies at Costco. So if you have a Costco membership, great. I can't speak for Sam's. I'm totally 100% team Costco. So if you have a Costco near you, definitely worth it buying this huge bag. I cook about half this bag at a time and it lasts pretty long. What I do is I pour out that half of a bag on a cookie sheet, and there's some bigger pieces in this. So what I do is I actually take those bigger pieces and with some kitchen shears, I cut them from the bottom up. So that way, like all of the floret part doesn't like start breaking apart everywhere. I just kind of cut it from the bottom up just to break those bigger pieces apart. This is the best broccoli. This is honestly my favorite broccoli that I cook. And I'm not really the biggest broccoli fan. Also another point too, if you're somebody that works a lot, on the go a lot, as a backup plan, get those like steam fresh vegetables that you can just pop in the microwave for 5 minutes. They're not the most cost efficient, but if you just have them in your freezer, there's no excuse. You know, you can't say, oh, well, I don't have anything made. You can literally pop them in the microwave. Same thing with like canned like tuna or tuna packets, or even like those Uncle Ben's ready rice. Always make sure I have that on hand because it takes away that excuse of, oh, well, I don't have anything, right? All right, so as you see, I kind of filled up my tray with my broccoli. Next thing that I do is I actually spray it. Now this is the Crisco butter spray. If you're someone that has an issue with using these kinds of sprays, that's totally fine. However, do not, and I repeat, do not drizzle olive oil over your vegetables. The reason why I say this is 1 tablespoon, all right? 1 tiny tablespoon is 14 grams of fat. So a lot of times you're hiding a ton of calories in something that you think is super healthy and super low, and you don't even realize it. So whatever you do, you can buy healthier, more organic versions of these sprays. Whatever you gotta do, just don't drizzle olive oil all over your vegetables. Unless you're trying to gain weight, right? If you're trying to lose weight and be a little bit healthier, I'm not saying olive oil is not healthy. I'm just saying that you're hiding a lot of calories by doing that. So anyway, off my little tangent. So spray it all up. And I like the butter one just because it gives it kind of a buttery flavor. So I spray it down, and then I'm actually just using Lawry's seasoning. Lawry's seasoning is good. It's got a bunch of garlic. It is very salty, so I try not to go too overboard. But if I'm not really feeling that, what I'll usually do is just do a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, and boom, that's really all you need. So I go ahead and salt it. Then I put it in the oven for 350 degrees, and I check it about every 15 minutes. And I usually try to toss it, and I'll show you whenever they're done, but you want them to be nice and brown on the top. So while I've been doing this, I've actually been using my rice cooker to cook some quinoa. Literally, this quinoa takes me about 20 minutes or so, give or take, depending on how much I put in there. So this whole meal right now is taking about 30 minutes. That's prepping everything. Like literally everything is taking me 30 minutes, and all of this is going to last me probably about 4 to 5 days. Now, granted, there's only 2 of us, but I eat a lot of meat and I eat quite a bit of food. So there's no excuse for meal prepping. All of this took me less than 30 minutes and it's gonna feed at least one meal a day for a minimum of 4 to 5 days. All right, so the chicken is done, and I'm not sure if I can do this one-handed, but literally like break open this chicken. It's so juicy, so tender. And even a couple of the sides got a little bit like toasted from the air fryer. And again, like I said, my point number 3 is making things that are nice and versatile. This chicken you can literally have with potatoes. You can have it with rice. You can slice it up and make tacos out of it. Do like a barbecue chicken taco. You can put it on a salad, whatever it is. Like, you have this huge bowl of chicken now that you can make whatever your heart desires with it. So it's been about 15 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is kind of toss this broccoli around and then set another timer for about 15 more minutes. All right, so the broccoli's done. It usually takes around 25 to 30 minutes. And as you can see, some of them are kind of toasted. So that's exactly what you want with these. Let me know if you try any of these out, if you liked these recipes or these ideas. Again, my biggest tip for you is season the crap out of your food. That's what's gonna make it actually taste good. I'm not one that actually meal preps on a specific day during the week. I'm kind of somebody that meal preps as I go, just because it doesn't really take a lot of time. And again, cook in bulk, because you'll have, like I said, that big batch of chicken for a long time. As always, let me know if you have any questions. You can leave a comment, like this video, any of that, and I'll be back with some more recipes in the future.